Images like that make it clear. Helene was one of the worst natural disasters in North Carolina's history. 107 people died. It caused $60 billion in damage. 1 year later, meteorologist Mike Bettes talked with the state's governor, Josh Stein, about the progress they've made, the work they still have to do, and the funding they still need to get.
About 400 homes have been rebuilt, almost all of those by nonprofits. How do you speed up that process? How do you get more people that are still out of their homes back in?
Housing is about the most important project we're going to be undertaking in the next year to 2 years. Federal government just moves slowly. We wish it were not so, but it does. My state, North Carolina, we issued our application, our action plan to HUD for housing dollars faster than any other state impacted by Helene. We got it approved faster than any other state. We started our program for housing reconstruction last month faster than any other state. In fact, faster than any state experiencing a major hurricane in over a decade. So we're doing everything we can, but that was still 11 months. There's only so fast you can push the federal bureaucracy, which is why we as a state gave $6 million to Habitat for Humanity and Baptists on Mission, because as you noted, these nonprofits, they're able to come in with hammers and nails 1-2 weeks after the storm. They don't have to go through the lengthy application process that the state does with the federal government. So it requires a partnership with nonprofits, a partnership with local governments, a partnership with the state, and of course, ultimately, a partnership with the federal government.
What if that money doesn't come through? What if that money, it takes so long to get that then it's just time you do not have? What's the backup plan?
Well, the backup plan is to make sure that whatever dollars we do have, we deploy as effectively and quickly as we can. And that's what my administration has been focused on. We've gotten good bipartisan support from the General Assembly, so we're making sure that our housing program is out there, our private roads and bridges, that we're helping farmers deal with crop loss, that we're helping students who lost out on schooling get that extra bit of studying. So we're doing everything we can with the resources we have, but we need more resources, and we're going to keep making the case until we get them.
On average, you see a hurricane about once every 2 years. What are you doing right now? What can be done to help build resiliency, whether it be the mountains of western North Carolina or your coastline?
Yeah, well, obviously it depends on which part of the state you're talking about. It's what kind of transportation infrastructure do you have? On the Outer Banks, we have this one highway, Highway 12, which is really the lifeline for the entire Outer Banks. There are going to be some hot spots there where we're going to have to build some extended bridges to get the road off the sand, because it just gets washed over with every major storm. We, in fact, saw it with Hurricane Erin just a few weeks ago. In the mountains, we have to elevate some of our water infrastructure so it's not sitting right beside the rivers, which then leads to massive flooding. And then when it comes to housing reconstruction, we have to be very much sensitive to what is the flood zone, so that we're not just putting a house right back in the flood zone. We have to make sure we elevate them or we move them up the side of the mountain so that we can help folks that if there is another storm like we experienced with Helene, that it doesn't cause the same amount of heartbreak and damage.
And of course, we appreciate Mike's conversation with Governor Stein. The governor was in Washington earlier this month advocating for an additional $13.5 billion in federal funding for Helene recovery. Now, that bringing his total request to $23 billion. If approved, federal funding would account for 47% of the state's Helene relief, which is closer to the percentage of federal support North Carolina saw after other storms like Matthew in 2016.
Well, from last hurricane season